Jim?
Richard, question about the 380, which you are not been fond of over many, many years. As the Indian market opens up and then there's the firewall is lifted on flying A380s into a market with 1 billion people, and China looks to be maybe following suit as far as traffic going in there as well. How do you see access for super jumbo aircraft or even 400-plus seat aircraft going into a market that could be 2 billion people or more?
Superficially, numbers are good. But on the other hand, you also have the paradoxical effect of growth that the better the numbers are, the more likely you're going to have route fragmentation. I mean, and that's what I think we'll do it here. You look at the opportunities to introduce service to China beyond Beijing, people are doing it as quickly as they can. So you're talking about new services, and frankly, you don't start new service. Oh yeah, it could be Xi'an. Xi'an, maybe there's a route here. Let's do it with a 550-seater. No, you see, hey, can we develop it with a 330, a 777, 350, what have you? And that's what I think you'll see, a very strong market, assuming that these emerging market economies get back on track and you start to see some good growth numbers again. You'll see a decent market for mini-jumbos as a result. Matter of fact, you look at India and China, they're what grew the narrow-body numbers. They've been real underperformers of wide bodies of any kind. So, hey, baby steps. Let's get them to start taking more mid-sized aircraft for international routes and starting up service there. And I think you'll see strong growth, but I think it's really premature to start talking about the virtues of putting in 550-seaters on these routes. And of course, you look at, not to poke fun of Airbus 20 years ago, but I've got this wonderful A3XX pamphlet that shows, top 20 growth routes, and 10 of them are like 1,000 nautical miles or less. It's like, strong argument for high-speed rail, I mean. So I just don't see it.
And in that same idea as the emerging markets with 3 billion people in a very small area, curious your thoughts on regional use of wide bodies. Airbus, working on a 330 regional, marketing a 350 regional, 787-10 having less range than the smaller 787s. In terms of those competing interests, as far as what Airbus needs to do next on 330 or whatever, against what they need to do next on 380 for a similarly populated market.
I'm a huge believer in the idea, and I think there's been this bias in favor of range, therefore structure, fuel, and whatever it is. I mean, everyone's designing a plane for Singapore or for Emirates, 8,000 plus nautical miles, and it's not just regional; it's even transatlantic. I absolutely am a big believer in the idea of doing something. As a matter of fact, what would make China really serious and threatening as a manufacturer if they were to say, we're going to invent an A300 for the next century. A twin-engine, twin-aisle product that emphasizes 3,000 nautical miles or something like that. And I hope Airbus and Boeing look at that factor in their next round of new product development, or at least in terms of derivatives. I think Airbus is on the right track with the 330 regional, possibly a 350 regional, something that takes weight and cost out of the plane and gets it away from its 8,000-mile capabilities. Scott?
You're talking about new airplane development. You made the comments that you just made. What do you see as a Boeing 757 replacement, and when?
Yeah, that's exactly what I would do. I mean, and whether it's single or twin aisle, I would, I think when you launch it around 2018, you have it arrive 2024, somewhere around there, and you baseline it at about 4,000, 4,500 nautical miles, and you haven't seen 220 or 230. 767, 200, 757, right in that zone there, and you take advantage of transatlantic fragmentation, low-cost carrier growth, intra-Asia. I think there's huge potential for a jet in that class, and that's exactly what I would emphasize.
This is scary. You and I are agreeing more and more.
So it really does come down to who's louder then.
Richard?